Hey guys, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Today guys, I'm just sharing a video. I posted on my social media yesterday that I was going to share a video today about my top tips and learnings from running a business for over 8 years. And I asked people on my social media, would they prefer me to write a post or to do a video? And 100% of the messages that came through was to do a video, which probably works out better for me because I can kind of like get into it a little bit more, make it more personal, and then elaborate more on some of the points I'm going to go down through. So I have about 15 points. Again, this is only my own experience of running a business myself. My own personal experience is completely different for everybody out there, but I'm hoping some of the stuff I'm going to go down through today might be able to help you if you're thinking about setting up a business going forward in the future, or you're in the pandemic at the moment and you're running a business, but you want to do it differently going forward after the pandemic. Hopefully some of these tips out of the 15 tips might be able to help in some way. But I'm completely open to feedback, positive, negative, whatever it may be. If you don't agree with something I say, just message me or comment or any of that kind of stuff and I can discuss it. Or if you want to know further about a certain point as well, so just message me privately if you want and I can discuss it in more detail if you want. So the first one, guys, is boundaries. For me, boundaries is probably the most, I'm going to rank it, boundaries is probably the top. I'm going to say this is number one, but the rest of them aren't really ranked in any particular order, okay? But the first one, boundaries, it was something that it took me a very long time. Honestly, I was 8 years in business. And before I go on, if anyone doesn't know me from the Performance and Fitness Academy, I ran a gym in Kildare called the Performance and Fitness Academy, and I started at 1,200 square foot and was worth, of course, zero. And then after 8 years in business, I was in a unit nearly 9,000 square foot, and just before selling it on a few months ago, it got valued at 300,000. So just to put a bit of credibility into what I'm about to say. So first off, sorry, I'll go back to boundaries as well. This took me a long time. So 8 years in business, no joke, this probably took me at least maybe 6 of those years to realize what boundaries were. And it led to fatigue, it led to, mental health problems, it led to kind of burnout, it led to a lot of things, and I could not understand why. Because at the start I was so excited setting up a business, and I was kind of like, I just wanted to do everything for everybody, and I was afraid of saying no, whether that was saying no to go to competitions with people, or to train people, or to help people outside of the gym, or to, whatever it may be, like answering, messages at like all hours of the evening on like Saturday, Sunday, all this kind of stuff, where it was supposed to be my time, but it was completely my fault. Because I started the business with, let's all just, this is a community, we'll all be friends or whatever. And I was putting out a lot of personal information about myself. So then when it started to kind of come back and people were asking me personal things about myself, and I was like, hang on, I don't want you to know that. I was, there was a lot attached to that, a lot of emotions attached to that, and a lot of negative emotions on my part because of my mistakes. I did not set out to stall from the very start of having healthy boundaries with people around me, employees or clients. So then when it started to kind of implode on me and I started to get wore out from it, not being able to say no and just trying to do everything for everybody, it started to burn me out. I started to resent things, people, whatever it may be. I couldn't find that balance between work life and my own personal life. So what I was doing was trying to be on in work all the time and do everything for everybody and don't say no to everybody and just, run this business and afraid to lose people or whatever. But then when I was going home, I was absolutely wrecked. So when I was around the people who loved me and I loved them, I was emotionless to the point where it ruined a lot of friendships and relationships. Because you can imagine somebody coming home after like working like 12 to 14 hours a day, coming home and they're like, hey, so how was your day? And then I don't want to talk. I'm being an emotional sponge all day. I just need to relax. And that's not fair. And I only realized that, 6 years into business. So that'd be my number one thing, is finding a healthy balance, being able to say no to employees, to clients, to whatever, and say no, and finding that healthy balance between being on in work, being a good coach and being on, or a hairdresser, beautician, whatever it may be, but then allowing yourself, don't do your best work in the gym, and allowing yourself to go home and be yourself around loved ones as well, and not just being knackered all the time. Again, this took me a long time to realize this, and a lot of failed friendships and relationships in the meantime because of this one thing. I was not able to set healthy boundaries with people. And as I said, Saturday evening, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, I'm on my phone replying back to people where I should have been present with the person I loved at the time or whatever. So that was a lesson learned and something for me to take forward in the future. If that sounds like you in a business and stuff like that, maybe rein it back in. Again, boundaries aren't there to block people out. It's just to protect you, okay? And your energy. We only wake up with a certain amount of energy on a daily basis. And if you're expending all of it in your workplace and leaving yourself on empty battery when you go home, it can end up in a lot of unhealthy relationship. So number 2 then, guys, is don't be afraid to ask for help. Sorry, if you see my eyeline kind of going down, I just have things written down here. So I'm just, so number 2 then, is don't be afraid to ask for help. This is huge, guys. This is another big one. And I see a lot of people fall down on this one. A lot of people thinking, having the opinion of, I don't want to ask for help. It's a sign of weakness or any of that kind of stuff. And it could not be further from the truth. There's no CEO or there's no person who has a successful business that hasn't asked for help or wanted and longed to ask for help at some point throughout their business. The only way maybe to succeed and to excel in your business is to ask people more experienced than you for help. So when I see people in the fitness industry or any other industry or whatever like that, they're like, I don't want to ask for help. I just want to, maybe copy other people or do this or whatever, instead of just reaching out and asking. I see that as a huge pitfall, massive pitfall. So maybe drop the ego a little and figure out to kind of, if the narcissistic trait of I know it all and I don't need help or whatever like that. But trust me on this, it will not last long. You will not last long in business without actually asking for help or finding people that have succeeded in your industry or whatever. So my second thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help, guys. It's not a weakness at all. If anything, it's a strength to say, hey, I need a little bit of help. Can I have a bit of advice on this? Find a mentor. If that's a mentor before setting up your business, I would recommend that. Go and work with somebody for a year or two before you set up a business. Learn the ropes, learn the ins and outs, learn the accounts, learn the PRSI, the PAOA, all these rent rates, ESB, all this kind of stuff. Learn from other people. Ask these questions and stuff because they're massive things when it comes to business and a huge stressor. So to take all that stress off yourself by just reaching out and asking somebody for help, it's a no-brainer for me. And going forward, this is what I have been doing going into my next path, the next career in counseling and psychotherapy. Number 3 then, guys, is take time off and don't be afraid to delegate jobs. This is another thing that I was afraid. I was afraid to leave my business for maybe the first 4 to 5 years. Afraid to go on holidays. I didn't take any holidays. I was afraid to go anywhere. I was afraid to delegate jobs. I was like, well, no one can do the job as good as I could do it myself. So I'm just going to keep doing everything. And that must have been hard, I'd say, for even employees and stuff like that, is because it's not showing confidence in them either. So I was just afraid to delegate things. When I started to kind of delegate things a little more, I realized that, the job can get done. I can leave. I can go on holidays. I can do all these things and things can still run smooth. So that was a huge eye-opener for me, is being able to delegate things and not doing so much myself. Again, dropping the ego and all that kind of stuff and allowing people the space and the confidence to do what they're there to do, really. Taking time off is huge. So that would fall into the self-care bracket as well. So I found myself going Monday to Sunday of just working. And when I wasn't working, I finished work on a Saturday. And even till Sunday evening, I was just planning stuff for the next week. No time off. Work. That's all I thought about. Programming, wanting to learn more. All the podcasts I was listening to were all like fitness. And I was like, so I had to rein that back. So as soon as I understood what self-care was, being able to go out and take time away from things, leaving my phone behind, not even if self-care to me was even not replying back to people at the weekend, replying back to them in my own time when I was okay to take or to have a conversation with someone, or a Monday morning. People need to realize that too. So coaches, hairdressers, any of these people, they all have lives too, and they all need their time. As a boss of a company, I'm telling you, you don't have a huge amount of time. So when you do have time to yourself and the phone is buzzing and all this kind of stuff, your clients need to understand that you need time too. So it's not an ignorance thing if there's no reply back, or they never replied this, or they never liked my post, or I tagged them in this, and never, you need to pump the brakes, guys. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own lives to live too. It is important to have conversations, don't get me wrong, but sometimes bosses, especially bosses, just need that time out. So don't be afraid to delegate things and get in a bit of self-care, guys. You know what I mean? Go for your walk, switch off, turn the phone off, leave it away, go away. Just listen to podcasts like that have nothing got to do with your career at all. That's what my advice would be. Listen to whatever. Listen to funny podcasts, whatever it may be. Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, a blind bite, whatever it may be, but just nothing that's probably directly related with your business can help a lot. Trust me on that. Number 4 then, guys, is try not to fall behind on bills. This is something I stuck by from the very start of trying my best not to fall behind on bills. Falling behind on bills can add a lot of stress to you as you're going along, because if you have employees, you've got to pay them, you've got to pay rent, rates, ESB, you've got all these bills kind of going out. And all it takes is for you to just like hold back on 1 or 2 of them bills, and it can really start to snowball, and that can add a huge stressor into your life. So my advice will be to try your best not to fall behind on bills. Don't splash out in extravagant things if you don't have the money there for it. A lot of businesses fail because of this one thing. They'll splash out too much, they'll end up in a lot of debt too quick, and then not be able to get that revenue in to pay the bills or whatever like that. And again, same as mortgages, any of that kind of stuff, you can relate it to houses. It can end up being a massive stressor to the point where you'll just end up burnt out, stressed, not at your full potential while you're supposed to be at your full potential, which is you in your business. So my advice is baby steps, tortoise, keep just walking along slowly, buy things within your means, and don't buy extravagant things that you don't have the money for. And don't fall behind on bills if you can, if at all possible. It can add a lot of stress, and it shut down many businesses. After that then, guys, is pay yourself from the very start, even if it's a small wage. If you're about to set up a business, my advice is to pay yourself from the start. So don't say, oh, do you know what, for the first 6 months to a year, I'm not going to pay myself. Business is fucking tough. So tough, guys. Honestly, there's going to be times, even in the first few months, when you've got all this excitement and all this kind of stuff, I have my own business, that there's going to be times where you don't want to get out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. Trust me, getting out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning for 8 years and stuff like that is minus crack. But at least I knew that I was getting something for it. At the very start, yes, for the first couple of years, I only paid myself maybe €200 a week. There was times there where I stopped my payments for a couple of weeks or months when I was falling behind on things to catch back up again. But I always tried to pay myself, whether it was minimum wage or whatever wage it was still something for me to look forward to at the weekend, that I can go out and splash on myself. Whether it's have a few beers, whether it's buy myself a few cakes, buns, go to the cinema, have dinner, or whatever it may be. I always made a choice to pay myself in some small way. And then once more revenue started to come in, I started to pay myself a little bit more. After that, guys, number 6 is believe in what you're selling. Make sure before you set up a business that you actually believe in the product that you're selling, whether it's fitness, whether it's beautician, physio, whether it's makeup, nails, whatever it may be. When you're dealing with people, I think a huge thing is the consumer always knows. That always knows. If you don't believe in what you're selling, it's very easy to pick up. It will either pick up in your body language, okay? Your internal dialogue yourself will end up expressing that, of like, Jesus, I really don't want to be here, and I don't believe in what I'm trying to sell. People can feed off that. Or it can just show in you, as in you're just going to be tired and knackered all the time and seem disinterested or whatever. So I think a huge part of business, guys, is believing in what you're selling. So make sure you do believe in what you're selling before you start selling it. After that, number 7, guys, is keep working on yourself in all aspects and don't pigeonhole yourself into one style. I see this happening a huge amount, especially in the fitness industry or whatever. People go to a seminar or read a book, and all of a sudden, the next day they come into work, it's all about this seminar and it's all about this book. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is improve. Go to the seminars, go to the workshops, read as many books as possible, learn. Education is key, unbelievable. But for me, there's always something a bit off when I see people that they believe in one style or one technique so much that they'll go around and they'll sweep social media so much that they'll find people who don't believe in what they're trying to sell, and they'll go to their own social media page and just bag on them, be negative and go, oh, look at all these, CrossFitters, or look at all these people, look at all these strength people doing this, or look at people doing yoga, all this kind of stuff, whatever, just because I went to a seminar, I read a book about a certain thing, like pump the brakes, you know what I mean? Everybody has the right way. You know what I mean? There is no one way. If there was one way, we'd all be following it. There's a way in everything. And people enjoy different things. Just because you think that you found this way and I look up to this person so much, I'm going to pump this out so much or whatever like that, doesn't mean other people will enjoy your style or your technique or what you're learning. So don't pigeonhole yourself. If it's good to be passionate about something, but I think people who are too passionate about one thing end up becoming blinkered to everything else out there. We've something to learn from everybody, no matter what industry you're in, top, bottom, middle, whatever it may be. We've something to learn from everybody. Do not go into business being ignorant, thinking you know everything. This is the 100% way to go. Anything outside of our training method is shit. It will not last long. People won't feed into that or whatever, and it just looks terrible and negative. Everybody has something to offer the world, I believe, and everybody isn't into what you're into. So, try learn as broad as you can and take little snippets from different people or different methods and then make it your own. But pushing one method, if you see somebody pushing their one method all the time, this is it and everything, instead of spending that time going around and looking for all of that people who don't believe in what you believe in and then bagging on them, imagine all that energy you could actually be saving to make you a better person, to be there for your family, friends, whatever it may be. It just does not make sense to me why people will scour the internet for people who don't believe in what they believe in just to give out about them. What a waste of energy. We're all going to die, seriously. Focus on what you're doing, be passionate about what you're doing. But just, if you're good enough at what you do, there's no need to give out about everybody else. Trust me. After that then, guys, is number 8 is take risks and don't be afraid to fail. I think a lot of businesses don't even get going because people are afraid to fail. So my advice to anybody is take a risk. As I said just in the last one there, is we're all going to die. So you might as well take a chance on yourself. The only reason I believe I was so successful and being able to run a gym for so long is I failed so much. I ran spin classes, Pilates, yoga, multiple classes. I can't really think off the top of my head now. Multiple classes, stretching classes, mobility classes. I've done so much. I've ran kids classes. I've done all these things, but they've all failed. Maybe people might see the strength and conditioning boot camp and see, 200 members and all this kind of stuff or whatever, and think it's a success, whatever. But I failed in about 8 other things to make them 2 things work. But I was never afraid to fail in them other things. I invested a little bit of money, I lost a little bit of money, but I was never afraid to go them avenues, because at least I tried, and I seen that, okay, I tried this and it failed, but always kind of wondering and always kind of stepping back and going, oh God, what if it doesn't work? And what if people don't take to it? And honestly, if you want to set up a business, you got to be prepared to fail. And you might fail. There's a lot of people out there who failed in the first handful of businesses and then become a success after that. But you learn a lot from the failures. It makes you a better person. It makes you more humble. It makes you more respectful. And then it narrows your path even a little bit more so you can go stronger in one direction. Okay? Number 9, follow your gut. I'm telling you, one thing I never done for a long time, and now I'm so in tune with my body that I always follow my gut. So that's when it comes to people, opportunities, or ideas that you have. Don't be afraid to follow your gut. Your gut knows something. Honestly, when you're not living the way you want to live or whatever, or you're not making, you're going on the path you want to go down or whatever like that, your gut is a very good indicator of allowing or telling you that you might be doing something wrong, saying something wrong, or not living your authentic self. Your gut is very smart. Follow your gut in relationships, people, ideas, whatever it may be, but it's very smart. So listen to yourself, guys. Honestly, have a lot more confidence in yourself. You know yourself better than anybody else. So always follow your gut. After that, then, guys, number 10, it can be lonely being a boss. Not much to explain here, but being a boss, everything stops with you. So you got all the risk, you got all the rent, rates, ESB, you got all these things coming out, you got all the employees, you got all the clients. The buck stops with you. There's a lot of pressure. You can feel, it can be very lonely at the time, because at the end of the day, you are the boss or whatever like that. People will see you differently than to see all the other employees and all that kind of stuff. So it can make people a little standoffish or whatever. So it can be very lonely, and you can't really turn around. I've tried before and turned around and tried to give out about being a boss and say, oh God, it's tough being a boss. I'm like, oh, being a boss, having your own business sounds so tough. Oh, driving around in your car and going off on holiday and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, complete waste of time. I find that the only people, like good friends and stuff like that, who know you will be there for you, whatever like that. And other bosses, people who run companies themselves. So that's why a lot of my friends are running companies or whatever, because I could, they understood, they had empathy towards kind of certain situations and stuff like that, where other people is just kind of like, oh, look at this guy, has his own business and, he's lonely, God, counting all his money, which there's not a whole lot of. But anyway, yeah, it can be lonely being a boss, but be prepared for that. And as I said, find people maybe in the same situation as you, where you can actually have these conversations with, because that helps massively, being able to talk to somebody else, guys, honestly, about certain things that other people might be able to get. After that, then, guys, have zero expectations of others. Huge thing it took me a long time to understand or whatever like that is, look, just because you have a certain way of dealing with things, or you have a certain way, or maybe loyalty and all that kind of stuff, doesn't mean other people have to treat you the exact same way as you treat them. So have zero expectations, guys. There's no point you getting worked up if somebody owned a beautician's or hairdressers and you see them go to another place and you're like, oh my God, I wouldn't have done that. There's no loyalty and all that kind of stuff. It's like, look, everybody can go do what they want. Everybody can go find what suits them and all that kind of stuff. But having zero expectations, it takes that struggle or that mental health kind of inner fucking critic away of like, oh my God, was it me or any of that kind of stuff. Have no expectations. Everyone's allowed to do what they want. Just do the best you can or whatever like that, and hopefully be able to sustain and to grow your business. Plain and simple. After that, number 12, guys, invest in your business. Keep things fresh. This is a huge thing as well. As I said at the start, I think it was like the third or fourth one in, is don't fall behind on bills or whatever like that, and don't buy extravagant things. If at all possible, to buy little things, add things. In the gym, I always bought things for the gym. As I said, the Performance and Fitness Academy was probably one of the best kitted out gyms in the country, because I constantly invested back in the gym and the members, and people love that. They love seeing, oh my God, we got a runner, oh my God, we've got 8 rowers, we got 8 skiers, we've got 6 bikes, we got like 20 something barbells, and there was new things kind of coming every month, and people really like that, and they're paying you a lot of money. It's nice for them to see something coming back in again, and it can be small. I'm not saying big extravagant things. It could be something small. If it's a hairdresser, beauticians, whatever it be, it could be products, it could be something else, or so don't be afraid to invest back into business. I think when I see businesses and stuff like that are just the same as the war like years ago and stuff, it kind of makes me think of like, how important is your clients to you, that you should really be trying to invest back into them in some manner. As I said, it doesn't have to be huge. I'm not saying thousands of euros. Like I used to have 4 get-together days every year, which worked out to about maybe 1,000 to 1,500 euro spent on food and all this kind of stuff, whatever. But I seen it as an investment in my members and stuff, and I really enjoyed the days as well. So invest back in your company if at all possible, without putting you into debt. After that, I think, guys, number 13 is don't copy surrounding businesses. I see this so much, and I see it in different industries and stuff like that. Gyms everywhere, barbers, beauticians, nails, physios, all this kind of stuff. Don't be the person who comes into somebody else's town or whatever like that and go to their gym and kind of sneak in and kind of have a little look around and all that kind of stuff, and sneak out and pretend that you're from Australia and you're coming home for a weekend or whatever like that, and you just want to do a drop in or whatever, and then set up a gym a few weeks later, and it looks shady, guys. It's not good. You should have your own ideas. You can find inspiration from other people, and you can reach out to other people and ask. This is perfectly fine, but don't start copying another person's everything, how to do everything, how to might cut hair, how to might style this, how to like copy absolutely everything. You are not like it doesn't scream confidence to me. It doesn't scream somebody who knows the direction they're going in. If you're going in a direction you know you're confident in going in, everything outside of that is just other businesses. You're just beelining. It does not come into it. So going around and trying to copy other things, and they're doing this over here, so I'm just going to start copying them, it looks terrible. It doesn't scream confidence to me. I would not do it. I would find inspiration around from other places, like I would of learning things from other people, but directly copying other people and trying to put other people out of business and stuff like that it's not a good look, guys. It doesn't show, to me, honestly, and not being bad or whatever like that, but it just doesn't show confidence in oneself or what you're trying to sell either. If you're constantly just trying to copy other people and be negative and stuff, it just screams desperate to me, to be honest. After that then, guys, number 14, nearly there, guys, passion. Okay, so have passion in what you're selling, have passion, believe in what you're selling, all that kind of stuff. If you're starting to lose passion for what you're selling or whatever like that, to have an exit plan, to maybe work your way out of that situation or whatever like that. But without passion, guys, you're going to end up with burnout. You're going to end up like needing loads of breaks and all that kind of stuff or whatever. You can have all this passion, but without you being able to step away and come back in again is like stepping away, you start to miss it and come back again. You're like, it gives you that passion. So don't be afraid to take some breaks. Don't lead yourself all into burnout, because once you get to burnout, it's very hard for you to get out of burnout, especially while trying to run the business. So as soon as you start to feel a little bit of fatigue or passion fatigue or whatever, take a step back, do some self-care, take a break, go on a holiday, go away, delegate, do all these things, whatever like that. And that will keep the passion alive. Trust me on that. Same with relationships and stuff like that. We all need a little bit of space at times. Number 15, guys, 26 minutes. If you're still listening, thank you very much. Number 15. Have fun and enjoy the process. That goes without saying, guys. If you're not having fun and you're not enjoying the process, whatever like that, getting up at 5 o'clock every day and slogging for 14 hours a day is not going to last long. You need to have fun. I was lucky in the academy. I had so many cool people around me, so many nice people. I'm still friends with a lot of people from the academy now. So it was easy going into work or whatever like that. You could buzz off people. You could have the crack junk classes and stuff like that. It was hard to fart rainbows every single day. There was a lot of fatigue in there, a lot. Whether it was, college or personal issues and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But having fun and enjoying the process is huge, and allow yourself to have fun, guys. Don't take yourself so serious. It is business at the end of the day. It's okay, I suppose, to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder and to give you that little bit of an extra drive and all that kind of stuff. But don't have it all said and done years later and look back and realize that you took it way too serious and you didn't enjoy anything at all along the way. I was very blessed that I met some amazing people, thousands of people in the Performance and Fitness Academy for so many years. And now the gym is Generation Health and Fitness and NACE. And it's only going to grow and flourish from here on in. Hopefully this has helped, guys. 28 minutes, under 30 minutes. How was I going to even think about writing all of that? So I'm glad you all said to do a video. I hope you're still listening. If you have any feedback, guys, or if you want me to even elaborate in a more depth about anything I discuss, let me know. Tag me or just drop me a message or whatever like that. I'll answer anything, guys. As best I can. For anyone who wants to start a business, guys, best of luck. Business, like a lot of the things I'm telling you that were hard in business, stuff like that. Business for me, I learned a lot about myself. A lot of growth came from business. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. It was fantastic. I met some amazing people, and it gave me all this knowledge to take me into the next step, into my counseling and psychotherapy from here on in, and give me the confidence to tackle anything now in my next business or whatever business after this. So don't be afraid to set up a business, guys. Believe in yourself. Take a chance in yourself. If the opportunity is there, go for it. If anybody needs any advice, guys, or whatever like that, if you're going to set up a business or going back after a pandemic and you're worried or whatever, just let me know. I'll try help as best I can. Best of luck with everything, guys. Show some love. And thank you very much. Bye bye.